Okay, so we're sitting here with YouTuber Sue Winky,
Winky.
right?
Yeah.
All right. So that's our first time here in Kenya. You know, you're a young woman. How is it for young women growing up here in Kenya?
I think growing up in Kenya is very different in every location. When you grow up in the city, it's much different from the rural area, and I think it's very like natural. You get to play games. You don't sit indoors all the time. I think it's pretty amazing.
So, from what I've seen, and maybe you can correct me,
Uh-huh.
marriage is a big issue in the African continent. Is that correct?
What do you mean, like an issue?
For instance, being married,
Uh-huh.
having a husband.
Yeah.
Okay, so in America, for instance, you know, you have maybe some women that could go to 35, almost 40, and never be married.
Yeah.
Now, in Kenya, you know, would that be okay to do so, or would family be like, what's wrong with you? Why you're not married?
I think the family would like what's wrong, because it's like an African idea that you need to get married early, especially as a lady, because you need to like get babies. Your parents will pressure you because they need grandchildren. So I think it's more of pressure on the ladies more than the like guys' side.
Okay, so you said early. Like, what age range are you saying when you mean early?
After like university, around 21 and above.
21 and above.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, if you get married, are you expected to go back to the workforce, or are you expected to stay home with the babies and take care of the babies?
In the new generation, I think it's okay to still work, because you both need to meet the ends meet the ends of the family, because people struggle, there are no jobs. So I think both the male and the female partners should both work.
But for the most part,
Yeah.
should the man provide, you know, for the household more than the woman?
Yeah, sure. I think it's biblical. It's been taught from the like older generations. People in the like older generations, when there weren't any like technology, the cavemen, they used to like go pick out the stones, bring firewood, and then the ladies would just be cooking and preparing the meals. So I think males should provide more than the females.
Okay, so what if there's a guy that would say, well, she needs to provide half of the bills and half of everything, and not just me? I mean, would that man be considered a man in Africa if you think that way?
Um, I think there's equality nowadays, so people don't necessarily view it as like a big deal. It was more of a big deal in the older generation. With our generation, ladies believe in equality, they believe in paying bills 50-50, so it's more like fair. It's like okay nowadays.
But if you have children,
Yeah.
would you want to still do 50-50, or you want your man to take over so you can stay home with your baby?
I want my man to take over. I want him to provide so that he can be like the man.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's safe to say that you want a man that basically pay all the bills. You'll work and you'll pay bills, but
Yeah.
when you have children, you want to be able to stay home with your children, and he pays the bills.
Yeah, sure. Basically, that's it.
Okay, so have your when it comes to family, and you say about grandkids, like does the grandparents, are they always like want the kids at the house all the time, or how does that work?
Uh, no, I think grandparents just want like quality time with the kids, because most grandkids are in the city area with their parents, because most people work in the city area and most grandparents are in the rural area. So it's more of quality time, because they can't be over their grandparents the whole time.
So basically what you're saying is family is a very important aspect in
Africa.
Kenyan culture or African culture.
Yeah, it's very important. I think family is taken very seriously in Kenya.
But see, my biggest issue, especially coming from America, is that we having, you know, the family problems, and we've seen, you know, the destruction of our family, not based on what we have done, but based on, you know, what racism and, you know, white supremacy has done to our family structure. So, do you know people that grow up in like a single parent households? Is that something that's kind of not the norm, or just kind of few in between, or is you seeing it coming more and more as you're seeing people become more modernized?
I personally grew up in a single parent family, and it was normal because most single mothers like do the most to take care of their kids, so you don't even notice you are actually being raised by a single parent. I think single parents like work very hard to provide like everything for their kids, so it's basically the kids don't see the difference. Most of us don't see the difference, personally.
Okay, so when you say you grew up in a single parent household,
Yeah.
when your father was around, was it different versus when he was gone?
When he came around, he came after like several years. In It was different because he started providing more, so my mother had less to had less pressure to work a lot. So I think it kind of helped my mother relax a bit. It helps.
So your father, you have a good relationship with him?
Yeah, we have a very good relationship.
So when he came around, like, and you guys, did you have to reconcile, or you guys just always had a great relationship?
I accept people very easily. I tend to look at the positive side more than the negative side. So there are people who don't have parents, so I chose to appreciate that I still have my parents instead of concentrating more on the time that he wasn't around.
Okay, so even though he was, him and your mom was broken apart,
Yeah.
he still was involved in your life.
Yeah, yeah.
So he always like came around,
Yeah,
picked you
took me
guys up.
out. Yeah, he did basic things. Took me out, shopping, fee. Yeah, so
and,
still
and
did the,
and that's why I tell people, I say, listen, the relationship don't work out. Okay,
yeah.
fine, but try to get your children. Now, what do you think about a parent like trying to cause? Let's say like if your dad wanted to come get you and your mom would be like, no, you're not coming to get him. Yeah, you get on my nerves. Like you see some parents like that.
Yeah.
What do you think about those who do that? Like maybe some moms are that way, preventing the dads from coming in. How do you think it hurts the children?
I can't really judge the parents who do that because you don't really know the reason. They could be protecting the kid or they could just be selfish. So I can't really judge the parents. I think it's based on emotion.
Based on emotion.
Yeah.
So if let's say if the parent is being selfish, like what would be your mindset on that? If that parent is selfish.
I don't think they should be selfish on the kid because it's really not the kid's fault. The kid is innocent, so the kid should be allowed to have a relationship with both the parents as much as they don't get along.
Okay, so now you grew up, young woman. You say you have still a great relationship with your parents, correct?
Yeah.
So what is it that you see the future for yourself in Kenya? You see yourself traveling the world. Like, what do you see yourself doing?
I would like to make like an impact on Kenya. I also want to travel the world. I want to see how other cultures are. I just want to see the beauty of the world. I love nature, so I just want to see every like place.
So you do YouTube as well.
Yeah.
Okay, so how you got into that?
I had a camera, but I just wanted to make YouTube to help other ladies feel more like satisfied with themselves and their bodies and their fashion because I struggled with those kind of things. So I personally thought like YouTube is a bigger space for me to help other ladies who are struggling with their self-esteem, the way they look, and that kind of stuff.
So you was dealing with an issue at one point in time
Yeah.
where you had some issues with yourself?
Yeah. Where you don't like something, you don't like your legs, it happens. I think it happens to everyone.
So what did you do to get over that?
I had very positive friends who would always like compliment me, and I just decided to like not focus on things that aren't really helping me feel better about myself because I just want to be happy. So when you put your focus on like positive things, you just naturally become happy.
happiness is an awesome thing.
Yeah.
Now, could you tell people, like I say, because people see you smiling, tell people how they can get to your YouTube channel so they can possibly go and subscribe, check out your content.
Hey guys, so I have a YouTube channel called Sue Winky. I do fashion, advice, and makeup. You can for sure check me out and subscribe and help me grow.